Thank you. Yes, my name is Bente Hoff, and I come from NSM, and we are the central agency for protection of critical infrastructure in Norway, critical functions, and we cover both military and civilian sectors. We also run the National Computer Emergency Response Team and coordinate cyberattacks, serious cyberattacks in Norway. It was said here that cyber security or cyber warfare is about protecting our way of life. And I'll come back to that, but I think that's one of the reasons with a highly digitalized society we are, that we aim to see both the military and civilian sectors as one, and gather information from all sectors to be able to protect ourselves as well as we can. First of all, I'll say a few words about what we experience on the current situation. We experience that the risk of cyber threats are increasing. As has been said here, the threat actors are becoming more and more sophisticated. But maybe, yeah, a few words about that. We have not seen cyber attacks aiming to damage. We have seen, of course, a lot of criminal acts. We have seen espionage and information gathering. But maybe more important from what we're experiencing is that cyber incidents are becoming more and more difficult to handle. And one of the reasons for that is what we already touched upon, that the different sectors are becoming so connected. IT systems are becoming more and more complex. And this is something that's being taken advantage of by the threat actors. We have seen attacks towards government, defense, finance, advanced technology, critical infrastructure, and also random attacks. One of the questions raised today, and that I was given in advance, was how does one detect and counter attempts of cyber espionage, sabotage and espionage? I think there's one vital thing missing from this question when we focus on detect and counter, and that is everything that has to be done before the attack. The warning time in cyberspace is minimal, often nothing. And if we don't manage to protect ourselves to be able to handle attacks on these complex value chains in advance of the attack, we will be too late. Internet was originally made to support communication needs and functionality, and does not have, relatively said, a lot of security measures built into it. Compared to the physical world, there is not much security on the internet from the attacker till the organization, till the server. The main responsibility to protect and build resilience is on the different organizations themselves, but also the government can do some things. First, I'll talk a little bit about what the companies or organizations can do. What you see here, I'm sorry, this is in Norwegian, but this is it's really about doing good maintenance on IT systems. It might sound sort of as a very basic thing to do, and it is. And simple measures like this will stop most attacks. at least it will slow down the attack. Of course, sophisticated state actors will find ways to go around this, or they will have the patience to wait till the maintenance is not there. But we often tend to not to spend enough time or money on these issues. Of course, what I showed you on the first slide was just a few of the basic things that has to be done to protect our IT systems and our digital value chains. What we also done in Norway is to make a fuller set of things that really helps, and really helps stopping attackers, and we called it the NSM's grunnprinsipper for IKT-sikkerhet. And this is something it's going to take money in each organization to deliver on this, but it's very essential. Another thing that has to be done on a national level is to identify the crucial functions that has to be protected. This is something that's been addressed in the new Security Act we got in Norway from 1st of January this year. But it still remains to identify the objects and the functionality. Then I'll move to detection. Detecting an attempted break-in is important. And in Norway, this has been addressed in several ways, of course in each organization, but we also got something called VDI, which is an early warning system. It's a sensor system for cyber threats against critical infrastructure. This system is run by NSM, and it's placed sort of on the borderline between the different companies and internet, or outside the companies, and it's always in agreement with the organizations. We see that this is very important for the detection, and also to put information together between different sectors, between different organizations, between the secret services, between intelligence information and private companies. Not many countries have got this information from intelligence services till private companies connected in a tool like this. Another important thing is information sharing. NSM Norwegian, which is a part of our organization and also runs the alarm system I've been talking about now, is also a national point of contact for operational cyber defense, cross-sectoral and internationally. What we see that we have to build more information sharing between different nations and between public and private actors in Norway. This is an area of focus. What we also built is FCKS, or in English, United Cyber Coordination Center, which is coordinating incidents between the intelligence services, PST, NSM, and Kripos, the police. Another area for cooperation, international cooperation while I'm there, is research, threat information, but also policies on the proactive side. If somebody could help me, tell me how much time I got left, that would be helpful. Okay. I think my main message is that security in cyberspace is a complex matter. And it involves multiple stakeholders, involves governments, international organizations, private businesses, and the end users. And we have to approach this through a multi-stakeholder approach, which is challenging in itself, but necessary. I will not say too much about counter and deter, as the responsibility of NSM is purely defensive. A couple of challenges with it I'll mention. One thing is the attribution that has already been mentioned. But another challenge is the borderlines between peace, crisis, and war. I think the cyber domain has some special challenges in separating between these phases. So, as a conclusion, some takeaways and what to do about this. One thing is the holistic approach and collaboration that I touched upon. Second one is the information sharing mechanism that has to be built. We have to be able to work together across borders and across sectors and companies to address the cyber attacks that we see, because we cannot get enough information just by looking at one sector, one company, or even one country. We have to build resilience into the systems and in organizations, and the focus must be on proactive measures. If you wait, it's too late. Then they will already be on the inside, and then you will not have control on your IT systems or your value chains. It's possible for the government to build technology and solutions to have a safer internet. The VDI system that I talked about is one such thing. Technical things like public DNS service is another thing. What we got in Norway is also that we build a network on top of internet, so we don't rely on it. It's possible for the government to do such things to build security where it's not built into internet itself. And we have to plan for not having the same services available if we really move into a crisis and war situation. We build more and more on private actors in the value chains. The business model for private companies are not generally built for war. So if we really move up the scale, we have to plan for second options. And one thing we always mention in this, regardless of which angle we aim the security question, is competence. Doing all the things I've touched upon now, we do need a lot of competence, not only in specialists, in management, at the political level, everywhere. This is a challenge that's also been addressed here in Norway, and I think it's a challenge we're going to have to face for many years. So, thank you.